Hello, everyone out there, and welcome to the final episode of the Sixth Dorans Show. I am your host, Jacob Sminted Sanders, and I am joined by, frankly, not just my two co-hosts, but two guys who I've become friends with over the last couple of years, Jamie Selceus Christensen and Tanner Blitzerama Brelje. Actually, Tanner's been like four, not just the last couple.
It's not a contest. It's okay. It's okay.
No, I mean, like, I knew you before, like, the show.
Right.
So, we still the first time I met you was because of League, though.
That is true.
Oh man, I still remember that tournament. That was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
It was.
But for this final episode, we are going to be talking about the introduction of Worlds before it starts happening and the chaos all starts going. After that, you will still be able to catch us in the Six Dorans chat. We'll still be there. We'll still be talking about League and whatnot. And we still play the game, so it's not like we won't be getting rid of League from our lives. But certainly, this will be some time saved that I would enjoy, because right now I would be lesson planning instead of last night. And Tuesday nights are usually when my actual IRL friends do like bowling or D&D, or they go to Topgolf, or they do fun stuff that I couldn't do last night because I was busy doing stuff as a teacher.
Because you're adulting.
Yeah, that could be doing tonight, but instead I'm doing the show tonight, right? So a lot of adulting things for Jamie with his family. For Tanner, he has now 2 jobs, and for me, with my job and wanting to get back to my life that I created here years ago before I went off to college. So all good things must come to an end. We'll get more to that later because I have a little epilogue for us. In the meantime, though, let's talk about Worlds here, because I'm actually super excited for how the group stage went. I think if you're an NA fan or even an EU fan as well, but like, if you're a Western fan in general, I think actually you could not have asked for a better group draw this year. With Team Liquid, Fnatic, G2, and Cloud9 all getting very favorable groups. I think if you're G2, you should get a favorable group no matter who's in your group, honestly, because you're G2.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think like even Cloud9, like they've always performed the best when like they're like a steel sharpened steel kind of team. Like they just get better because they play harder competition. Cloud9's never actually like been bad at Worlds when they go against better teams compared to like TSM or CLG or Team Liquid or who was the third place team last year?
Who was it?
The third place team for NA last year?
100
Thieves.
100 Thieves, right. So like there's just like so many.
Good job, Tanner.
There's just so many like top tiers that like are disappointing. They just fail to live up to the challenge, and like Cloud9, like they're just like a team that's, like I said, steel sharpened steel. And I think Team Liquid actually got a really easy group this year. I know. I would think it was 2 years ago they got an easy group and they didn't do shit with it. But like quite honestly, this year I think they got an easy group and they look way better than they ever have. They beat Invictus Gaming. They went to finals, got smashed by G2, but who doesn't get smashed by G2 these days? Even like Cloud9 gets reverse swept. So not Cloud9, Fnatic gets reverse swept. So, it's really hard to beat G2. But let's like actually get into like what happened, right? So the last
Real
time,
fast before you hit that, just since we didn't have a show last week, maybe mention who third place from
that's what I was gonna get into actually.
Fine, I'm just helping you out.
That's literally what I was gonna segue into. So last time we left off, as I was about to say, oh my god, that is disgusting. I just logged into the LoL Esports chat and I saw Clutch Gaming's new logo. Oh my god, it's hideously.
Oh, with the color?
Black. The yellow? It's because they were bought by Dignitas.
I know, but put the Dignitas symbol in, not.
I agree. I'd rather they just kept with like the white, like the white lettering for right now.
Well, it's like Dignitas like has an owl for their logo. Just put that anyway. Not the point. Last time we were here, we were talking about Fnatic's what do you call it? Summer Gauntlet. Summer Gauntlet. We were talking about EU Summer Gauntlet that Fnatic was going to be king of, and they were king of. We made our predictions, and we predicted Splice to be in it. Splice did make it. They actually struggled slightly against Origin, which had me really worried. That series was fucking god-awful. That was probably the worst best-of-5 I've seen in the last few years.
I had those first 2 series backwards.
And then
they picked a 3-0 for Origin and then a 3-2 against.
And then they smashed Schalke, like absolutely obliterated Schalke into oblivion, right? So I was like, oh, Okay, so that's the Splice I expected, right? Like the third place Splice from the season.
They just had to brush off the cobwebs because
I
it's been a
guess.
while since they played.
But like, damn. Anyways, and then they got 3-0 by Fnatic, which I think anyone would expect. I kind of thought there'd be a 3-1. And the first game, Splice was actually dominating Fnatic. And then around like the 20-minute mark, Fnatic turned it on. They never looked back in game 2 and game 3. So, Splice is your third seed. Clutch Gaming is our third seed, and so they're going to be in the play-ins, which is the first thing that we're going to talk about here. So on Monday, literally 2 days ago, we had the group stage draw, right? So real quickly, like let's talk about play-ins first, and then we can talk about the actual group stage and what we think is going to happen. So for play-ins, we have, this breaks my heart when I saw it, we have Clutch Gaming and Unicorns of Love in the same group, which makes me really sad because I want to be able to root for Unicorns, but I can't like root against NA. So it makes me really sad.
On a positive note, you can still root for both of them because 2 people will get out of each group.
That's true. They'll technically get out of the group, and then they have to go into the death match right before they actually get into the group.
Right. I think for that, though, they won't actually play somebody from the same group. So.
No, I don't think they would. So.
Anyways, so the second team here, the third team that's in this group with Clutch and Unicorns of Love is Mammoth Gaming. I'm pretty sure they're from the OPL, if I remember correctly. They're the OPL's representative this year. The next group is Isurus Gaming, which is
they're from the OCE, just so you know.
Yeah, the OPL, the Oceania Player League.
Oh, okay. Then yes.
Yes.
Damn it, Sanders! I'm trying here. I don't watch anything with these other minor leagues.
Yeah, on the same page, brother. It's so okay. You know, it's not a final episode without us being the way we are, so it's totally fine by me. We have Isurus Gaming, who's the Japanese representative. No, actually, it's D&G, Detonation Focus Me. What? No, am I confused? I swear I did my research before this.
Isurus Gaming.
Hold on. Is the
I'm gonna make sure Isurus Gaming is Japanese. I'm pretty sure it is, but I could be wrong.
Isurus is Latin.
Damn it! Oh, my research was bad. I'm sorry. So we have Isurus Gaming. It is then D&G from Japan. Okay, and Splice. They're all going to be in Group B. As for Group C and Group D has Damwon, Royal Youth, and I don't know who that third team is actually. Who is that third team?
Flamingo Esports.
Flamingo Esports. I don't even know who they are.
They're from Brazil.
They're from where?
Brazil.
Brazil.
Oh, Brazil. I thought you said Razoo. I was like, what? What? Okay, and then Group C, if you guys want to help me out here, there's the Korean team, the Vietnam team, Mega, but I don't know who the other 2 teams are.
Loki Esports from Vietnam, and Hong Kong Attitude.
Oh, HKA. Okay, cool.
LMS.
Yep. All right. So, if we're looking at this, if I remember correctly, 2 teams can make it, right? Or is it 3?
2 from each. Well, it's 2 from each group, and then there's 4 teams overall that make it.
4 teams overall. Okay, yeah. So,
because this is the first time that Korea doesn't just have all 3 seeds going.
Yeah.
So
if we're being honest with ourselves here, I mean, if we're being like truly honest, right? Damwon, Clutch, and Splice automatically make it, right?
I would hope.
Like that's like the conventional thinking here. I understand that like Cloud9 and Fnatic and G2 in the past have been taken to the brink, and even TSM one year was taken to the brink. But like, there's never been like an actual upset. And like, I think the one time a wildcard team did make it, it wasn't really an upset. They were expected to. That was Gigabyte Marines. Like, they were expected to actually beat out a team. They beat out the 3rd seed of the LMS. So like, I don't think there's ever been like a genuine upset. Like, does anyone expect Isurus Gaming or Royal or Mega or D&G or Mammoth to make it? Or Unicorns? No.
I have a slight inkling that D&G might make some noise. But I just feel like, you know, because I think we'd have to see like vintagely bad Splice in order for D&G to make it out into
I liked D&G at play-ins. I'll say that I did, but like once they played real competition, they were 3-0. Like, well, what am I supposed to say, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
I think if you take out the major four regions, sure, G&G might be a powerhouse, but then put in the actual four regions and D&G's put right where they're supposed to be.
Right.
So I think, like, theoretically, the only team here I can see not making it is Clutch, Spice, and Damwon, right? Like, guaranteed, those are the three that make it. I can definitely see HKA getting replaced by someone like in this case they wouldn't play anyone in Group C. So sadly, like I wouldn't consider anyone in Group C because for the knockout stage you don't play anyone within your group, right? So you'd have to play what I'm going to assume is Unicorns from Group A, DNG from Group B, or probably Royal from Group D, right? Those are probably one of the two they're going to be playing. And like I might give Unicorns a shot. I doubt it, but I'll give them a shot against HKA. Maybe they could surprise me. They actually look UOL actually looks really good from their Russian league. Like
your heart will give them a 100% shot.
yeah, my heart will. But like setting my bias like aside for a second, like they have a shot. I think it's a small shot, like a 30% shot. But like I expect HKA to take it. If I won't be surprised if they don't because the LMS is an awful region as of the last couple of years, which is really sad to say. But yeah, I fully expect the top seeds of all four groups here to make it through. But like I said, if HKA doesn't make it, I would give like Unicorns a shot or even DNG a shot to make it, but then they'd get crushed in whatever group they're in.
If they are bad enough, then they are playing in the same group as the number 2 Vietnam team, which is kind of the emerging region. Kind of, I guess, like the up and coming, right? Where I think we've said before they potentially are on track if things keep going the way they are with them on the upswing and the LMS on the downswing, that they could kind of become that next.
They've already kind of replaced the LMS in the sense that they already took half of LMS's slots. LMS had
right. So just keep in mind that they
are
are in the same group as Low-Key Esports, who's the number 2 Vietnam team. And if they really are as bad as we think they or as they've kind of been here lately, then they might not even be the first seed, and they might have to go up against one of the big boys in Clutch, Damwon, or Splice. And yeah, they might not even die. So who knows? I wish I knew more about these teams, though. Like that's where I'm at. Like essentially, I don't like. I've heard Damwon before. I don't know really anything about HKA. And then a couple of names ring a bell, but other than that, like I don't know anything about their players or how they do in competition. So like I wish I knew more for this stage. I really kind of learn about the teams during this stage. And I think even last year I can't even say that much because I didn't really watch this stage much. Like the teams that were expected to get out, I believe all got out last year. It's probably going to be the case again, probably.
Yeah, I mean that's understandable. Like this is the kind of thing where if you do end up watching the play-in stage, like it's a good way to learn about like the non-major regions and kind of get a glimpse of how they play their games and you know what makes their specific regions tick. But I mean, I'm not going to say that I've ever been a huge watcher of the play-in stage, at least in the past. Now I might be more so because I'm actually interested in, especially like Clutch's group. I really want to see how that goes and you know all of these other teams. But I mean, it's completely understandable.
There's some really fun games in the plans. Like you'll like look at it and you'll watch it and you will straight up notice that there is like it is lesser play, like lesser time. It's almost like Tanner. Have you ever watched a Collegiate League?
Somewhat, but
like
not too much.
I think it's Ottawa and Ohio State are usually the two biggest league teams, like always every year. But like when you watch those two play and go at each other's throats, in the playoffs or near the finals, because those are the two teams who make it in the finals for collegiate ball every year. Those are only like master tier Diamond 1 and Diamond 2 players, and you can tell when you watch just like how different like they think. The drafting is different in the sense like they get to play more off meta picks. Like I think for example, one of them was they were playing. I think one of the teams they specialized in Teemo mid lane. Like one of their mid laners was really good at Teemo mid lane. It had to get banned throughout the the playoffs, and then in one of the finals games they let it through and they picked it. Oh yeah, and they destroyed with it. Like they were just really good at like Teemo mid. Right, they were really good. He also played Ari. Like Ari's not seen in pro play, but he played Ari, which is still like a mechanical like champion who can outplay. Right, so in a tournament like that makes sense, and you're not at the top of gaming, so like not everyone counters Ari, but like, or you're not going to really watch someone play Azir well enough to counter Ari, which is the pick pros would pick. Just like specific things like you would see in like collegiate esports would never happen in like top tier professional play, right? And that kind of things happens in the play-ins as well. Like, because these players would probably be master level players in NA or EU. Where so like,
it's a ton of fun to watch because it's you get to see almost a completely different meta, like what you were saying
as well.
Like
absolutely,
all regions have their own meta. These are regions that we don't really pay attention to much, and so for that we get to see a lot of really what we would kind of consider random gameplay, but it's a lot of fun to watch. And then with the skill level being slightly less, you open the opportunity for teams to come back a little bit more than like G2 Fnatic series. Like those teams are good and they can come back, but like once one of those teams gets a lead, it's more likely they're going to close out the game than in this competition with these play-in teams. They could be very similar to like CLG of the past, where they were really good at early game and then sucked. And so like,
yes, 2016.
We could see some really good like early game teams that just don't know how to close out a game, or the picks are another good example. Like we could see some stuff that you haven't seen in pro play in a like forever, but somebody's just going to be really good at something. They're going to get a chance to play it, and we're going to realize yet again that there is a reason why there's 160 champions in this game, and that honestly all of them can be viable in some capacity, but pros tend to lean towards the optimal, and in these games we might see just more comfort, and it's going to be fun to watch for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So that's going to be the group stage, right? Looking at what the actual drawings are, this is where like this conversation gets fun. Like I said, if you were a Western fan, you could not have asked for a better draw, in my opinion. Maybe you put Fnatic in Group B instead, because having Fnatic with RNG and SKT is a little tough, but that's okay.
It's tough, but like there's always got to be one group like that, and it's fun to have a group like that, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
like where you don't know going in who the favorites are, and
I'm also gonna still say SKT and Fnatic.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. Yeah.
Okay,
but I know what you
may
mean.
Still have favorites, but like they're not quite as big favorites as the other groups, and so you go into every game knowing that really every second matters. And
oh yeah, for sure.
So like those days are going to be really fun to watch because it's not going to matter what the matchup is.
Yeah. So, Group A is probably the most interesting one, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but Group A is a lot of fun. Group A is G2 with the number 1 seed, and sharing the number 2 seed is Griffin and Cloud9. This is considered the quote-unquote group of death at the moment. That could change, obviously, with, let's
I think it depends what region you're in, for sure.
No, what I mean, though, is, like for, like, the fourth, like, team that comes in, right? For example, if, like, Splice gets into this, holy shit.
They can't, because of G2.
Oh, not Splice.
HKA?
One, HKA, Clutch, but Clutch can't either.
So yeah, either HK or Dom1, probably.
And it can't be Dom1.
Okay, well then it would be HKA, more than likely, right?
Oh wait, no, never mind. The team that's gets into this is screwed because they're going to be an underlevel team, 100%. Never mind. The fourth, I already know what's going to happen in this group now that I'm thinking about it. Like, I don't need to know the fourth team to know what's going to happen in this group. So you're going to have G2, you're going to have Griffin, you're going to have Cloud9, then you're going to have some scrub fourth team. That's literally what's going to happen here.
Yeah,
because you're going to have HKA, or you're going to have some wildcard region team here, and well, that sucks to be them. Honestly. So, like, if you want my actual opinion on this, I think G2 is going to be number one. They're going to go 5-1 or 6-0, quite honestly. And I think Cloud9 is going to go 4-2 and Griffin's going to go 3-3. The reason I say that is because I think Griffin's going to get their ass handed to them by G2 twice, and I think Cloud9 is going to beat them once. And that's why Griffin's going to go 3-3. And this requires Cloud9 beating G2 once and beating that wildcard team twice, which I fully expect to happen. The reason I say this is because, kind of like what I was talking about before, Cloud9 is kind of a sharpened steel team, and this is the perfect group for them, right? Like, we're looking at the best regular season Korean team. They got second place because they always fucking choke at finals. There's never been a time when Griffin doesn't choke at finals, by the way.
Yeah.
They've choked every single finals, 100%. They can't, as of right now,
they haven't gotten over the hump yet.
They can't handle pressure at the moment, right? They can't handle that over the hump pressure. And if it came down to a final game, I trust Cloud9 to win that because they're proven. Griffin is proven they can't do it. Cloud9 has. So, and Cloud9's not afraid to beat Korean teams. They've done it 2 years in a row now. So, there's a lot going for Cloud9 here. I think they match up well with G2, which is really cool. I think G2 is the better team, obviously. But I think they could take a game off of G2, right? Which is why I'm saying G2 goes 5-1. Maybe G2 goes 6-0 and Cloud9 has to play a tiebreaker, but I think they still win that. So my pick is G2 is the number 1 seed and Cloud9 is the number 2 seed. And when I do my pick'ems, that's what's going to happen. Griffin will be my number 3 seed, and the wildcard team, or HKA, which is kind of a wildcard team anyway, will be 4th.
I think they did announce on Twitter that they are doing pick'ems again. So
I saw it. So
okay,
what do you guys think of this group?
I've pretty much got mine.
Yeah, I'd have to agree 100% with what you said in the order. Cloud9's just proven that they can get out of groups even when they're in a tough group. I do think that this is a tough group, so but I don't think that it's the group of death. I think that's Group C once we get there. But this is by far, in my opinion,
I think that's highly overselling RNG. But we'll get there.
No, I agree. I agree with that statement too.
But I think this is definitely the second hardest group. Cloud9, though, just with the proven record of being able to perform and get out of groups even when they are in a tough situation. Griffin, unfortunately, choking in tough situations over and over again gives me reason to put Cloud9 above them, and so I expect the standings to be the same as you. Even if it is a tie between Griffin and Cloud9, I guess I would also give the edge to Cloud9 just because of, again, the proven past. So
yeah, my initial reaction to this was that Griffin did not look good in their series against SK Telecom. I mean, that's not anything new. They've never looked good against a series against SKT, but this is their first time actually going to Worlds after having one of those series against SKT. So is it the pressure? What the hell is going on with Griffin? I don't know. I'm not confident in them coming into this group at all. Because again, like we've said, they don't handle pressure situations well. And when their back was put against the wall by SKT, again, they still couldn't do it. Again. It's hard for me to think that they're going to improve that going into this group. So I honestly think G2 and C9 will be the ones to make it out. And because I don't really see G2 dropping a game, I think it'll probably come down to a tiebreaker, and I believe C9 obviously will win the tiebreaker game.
So let me ask you this, okay? Because I love being devil's advocate. Just like how Invictus Gaming went 9-1 before they got pub stomped by Team Liquid, Griffin is really shown to be amazing, completely amazing, whether it's in LCK Academy or in LCK. They dominate best of ones. That's all this group stage is best of ones, right? Knowing that, It could be very possible that they actually sweep this, go 6-0, and G2 goes 4-2 or 5-1 because G2 gets swept by Griffin, and then they get hammered in the knockout stage. That's a possible scenario here where I actually see Cloud9 not making it because Griffin is such a powerhouse with best of ones.
When I say I give Cloud9 the edge, I give them a 51-49. I literally do think it's a coin flip. I give them the edge strictly because of the past performance, being able to do it. This is the first time we're seeing Griffin on the world stage. And unfortunately, in high pressure situations, they have shown over and over again that they choke. So
they could be like Longzhu Gaming too, right? Everyone thought they were going to win Worlds. Longzhu Gaming went 6-0, and then what did they do? They got 3-0 in quarterfinals.
Now Griffin could come out and honestly surprise me to the point where they win this group.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
And G2 is the second seed, in my opinion. Like, that could happen very well, in my opinion, as well. So, like, yeah, I can see very easily, I can see a scenario where Cloud9 doesn't get out of group.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think for me, like, again, it's such uncharted waters that we don't really know enough about Griffin coming into this and how they're going to perform internationally. So I wish them the best. I mean, the NA fan in me doesn't, but, like, you know, they need to kill a meme and they need to do well to do that. I'm not sure if they're going to do that, though. That's for sure.
So my like gut feeling, like I am making like my G2 Cloud9 Griffin 4th place trash team prediction here. But like my gut feeling actually is that Griffin is going to sweep this like 6-0 or 5-1, and then they're gonna choke 3-0 in the knockout stage against someone like Team Liquid or some shit. Like, I don't think it matters who they play. Like, it could be fucking Fnatic. I don't care. I think, like, honestly, like, my gut feeling is that Griffin actually does show up, and then they fucking get swept. Like, because that's where they falter, right? Is in best ofs, and they're really good at best of ones. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were like how Longzhu Gaming was. Like, they excel in the best of, right? Maybe even go 6-0 like Longzhu did, and then Longzhu was predicted by nearly everyone to when I remember there was only in the pick'ems. I remember there was only 4 people left after that match was over, because there were only 4 people in the world in the pick'ems who picked Longzhu Gaming to lose against Gen.G that time, and not a single person won that Worlds that year because those 4 people, I think 1 picked Fnatic and 3 picked SKT to win, and it was Gen.G who won the Worlds championships that year. No one picked Gen.G to win.
Wait, you mean IG?
No, it was Gen.G.
2 years ago or 3 years ago.
This is 2 years ago when Gen.G, Samsung White, who became Gen.G.
Right, gotcha now. Yeah.
So, yeah, with like Crown and
Right. I know what you're saying. I just I forgot they rebranded.
But yeah, before Crown went to Optic, I forget who their jungler was. I
totally know what you mean, because the reason I was confused there for a second was because what if they pull a 2018 Gen.G and show up as a pretty dominant force that's worth a lot of people expecting a lot from them, and then just crap out in the groups too.
I think the big thing that happened with that Gen.G is they were total shit in the summer split, and then they made a gauntlet run, and then they were total shit again. I think they just got into Worlds because they were hot for a week in that gauntlet, right? And then Worlds they showed who they were in the entire summer, which was shit. And in this case, Griffin was hot the entire summer. So
that's true.
If we're going in that direction, I think what I said happened, right? They're really hot in the group stage, and then they falter in the knockout stage. So I think no matter what, Griffin doesn't make any noise post quarterfinals. But I'm still giving Cloud9 the benefit of the doubt here. And like I said, they're steel sharp and steel team. And honestly, if Sminted can play the way he did in NA here, I think you've got awesome jungle matchups in the sense that like Jankos, who was voted best player in the world at the moment, which is kind of odd, I think, but he was voted best player in the world, which I'm kind of happy to see because I like junglers being represented.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
By the way, 3 of the top 5 players were junglers. No, another one was Tarzan from Griffin. So that's an awesome matchup, Jankos versus Tarzan.
This group has 3 of the top 5 players in the world, and they're all junglers.
And you got Sminted versus Tarzan. This is an amazing group for a jungler. Like me, I'm ready. I'm so ready for this group because
I see why you're excited for this group.
Yeah, totally, dude.
Even though you've been playing 80 carry more.
What do you mean? I played 80 carry last game, but hey, did you see my two Warwick games before that? Fucking killing it.
No, so. I wouldn't be surprised if it took a half hour for my client to update. It's been so long since I've been in League.
No. So you should also see my leasing. That's gotten pretty clean. Tanner, if you still want Freelo, you need to hook up with my headphones.
Yeah. One of these days when I'm not like dead tired from work.
Not joking. Hey, I feel you. I actually feel you there, dude. I was at work from 6 to like 4:30 today or 5. Like Yeah, I get it. Slightly off topic. So we've talked about a lot about Group A here. Should we move on to Group?
This
Yeah,
next
but
one I
just
don't have
know.
a lot of input, but we can definitely talk for a minute about it.
Yeah, I don't know too much to say about Group B. It's kind
Okay,
of
so hold on real quickly before we get to Group B. Final predictions here. I got G2 first, Cloud9 second. Tanner?
G2 first, Cloud9 second as well.
And Jamie?
For the show, I'm going to say that, but honestly, for my pick'ems, I think I might pick it
Griffin.
differently.
What's your pick'em going to be? Like, do what your pick'em would be.
I'm telling you, for the show, I'm
He's
picking
like, I don't know.
Cloud9. Damn it,
That's
Cloud9. I need the NA. Like, I gotta put that out there in the ether. But for my pick'em, I think it's not set in stone. And right now, if I were doing it, I might lean towards Griffin.
Hey, plot twist. It's Griffin in the 4th place team that makes it. G2 and Cloud9 don't.
That would be scary.
Massive
I
upset.
think that the plot twist more likely is that Griffin and Cloud9 make it.
G2 doesn't make it at all. Ooh. Hey, but then there's still Western power there, so like I was going for the non-Western.
G2 has like the TSM best team in the world not make it out of groups.
You know, the best team in the world curse has been a thing for the last couple of years, so yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen to G2 though. Group B. Group B is Fun Phoenix, which is the first place team for China. The next is J, whatever their name is.
J team.
The J team. That's right. For LMS, honestly, who gives a fuck? The LMS sucks. And then there's Gigabyte Marines as well. This group, to me, is
that what GAM Esports is Gigabyte Marines?
Yeah, they used to be the Marines, but they rebranded.
Yeah, they rebranded. But this is what we knew as Gigabyte. This is the dream group for Clutch to get in. It's not likely they get in this group, but this is the dream group for them to get in.
Yeah.
Why? Because
because we don't recognize 2/3 of the teams that we just said.
Well, not
recognize is one thing, but like
you should recognize J Team because they've been in Worlds for the last 2 years, but they've always sucked. They used to be G-Rex. And then they became J Team last year, and then they even sucked last year as well. Like J Team was in Team Liquid's group, and you know how Team Liquid's 2 and 4. This was the only 2 wins that Team Liquid got against. Was the J. So, yeah. But they actually looked pretty decent. Like they were first place in the LMS, and if you watch some of their stuff, they're actually not bad. But I don't know how much of that translates to Worlds. One thing I want to say here is I wouldn't underestimate Fun Phoenix here. They're actually a very good squad if you watch some of their games, which I
mean, they're the first place Chinese team. Like, I would hope they're a good squad.
But the thing is, like, most time for, like, first place Chinese teams, they're just really incredible at team fighting, and that's about it, right? Like Invictus Gaming last year. They're very polished, actually, like, lane mechanics-wise and team fighting-wise. So I kind of expect Fun Phoenix to be kind of a dark horse. No one's really talking about them right now. Like, if you want to pick World's favorites right now, people are talking SKT, G2, or Griffin. Like, those are the 3, right? People are talking for World's 2 Koreans, 1 European team. Fun Phoenix is a sneaky dark horse here, I think, for World's winner because, like I said, they're very clean and very polished, and I like their game style. Like I said, J Team, they look like good for the LMS when you watch. Like, I've only watched their finals. I've only watched the finals of most of these teams here, right? For the ones that are not EU and NA, that's all I've got from them. It's usually what I do for every Worlds. So I don't know how much that translates. Gigabyte Marines. I mean, Gigabyte Marines is Gigabyte Marines, right? Like you really don't know what you're gonna get from them. You could get a huge pop off, or you could get a huge Inting fest. So this is
either way, it's entertaining. Oh no, I lost him for a second. Oh no. Hopefully I reconnect him.
So we'll have to wait for him. Wait,
okay, there we go. Sorry, we're back.
There we go. Cool. So as I was saying, because I don't know how much you got from me or not, is the only group that Splice can go in is Group B or Group D, right? Mm-hmm. So if Splice goes into Group D, right, and then you can hope that Clutch can get into Group B. However, if Splice gets into Group B, then Clutch will automatically be in Group C.
Right.
So let's hope Splice gets into Group D, So Clutch Gaming can be in Group B because this is honestly the best group for Clutch Gaming to go to if we want to see them do well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you ask me, I think Clutch Gaming in a group with Gigabyte Marines, Full Phoenix, and J Team is like
fun as
the
hell
most
to watch.
fun group ever.
You're gonna have 50, 60 kill games.
Like you're not gonna get the best like quality League of Legends play, but you're gonna get some bomb ass fun games. Like I could totally see Clutch Gaming versus Gigabyte Marines being like, all right, first 5 minutes, 10 kills because we couldn't stop killing each other, and then right after the first round they TP back in to go for round 2. That actually happened with Gigabyte Marines versus SKT. I don't know if you guys remember that game. And like Gigabyte Marines full 5-man bot lane, and then like Faker and at the time they TP'd bottom lane, right? And they killed those people. And then as they were receding back with their low health bars, Gigabyte Marines was like, nah, and they TP'd in and they killed those people. And then the people who died from SKT came in and killed those people. It was like I think like 14 kills in a matter of like 5 minutes. It was amazing. Such a fun like opener. It was a banger. Like basically the game was everyone gets like 1,000 gold handicap to start the game, right?
I really hope that we have some more of teams that are considered lower tier just coming in and like not waving the white flag, you know, like just come in and realize you have nothing to lose and just do something like that. Like
just get a level 6 Nocturne at 4 minutes, right?
Like that's literally how you win some of these games though against better competition is you just, you know, keep throwing punches.
You guys actually remember that game?
A little bit, yeah.
The level 6 Nocturne in 4 minutes. That was it was also Gigabyte Marines versus SKT. They had the support follow Nocturne with Braum, so it stunned all the camps, didn't detract any health from Nocturne. And, oh my god, that was insane. It was actually,
now that you say that, I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, so like when everyone else was level 3, Nocturne was level 6 and fucking ganking Faker at mid lane. Faker was like 0-3, Marin was like 0-2 because his Nocturne was ulting when they were level 3. It was insane. It was so cool to watch. The only like contradiction to that though is like, it wasn't the support, it was the top laner helped. Your top laner is level 1 going into a level 3 matchup. That's the risk you take. Right, is basically saying, hey, we have a level 6 Nocturne when everyone else is level 3, but our top laner is level 1 still, like 4 minutes into the game, which is not a good thing. So, like, that was the risk they took, and it worked out, right, for 15 minutes, and then SKT
for 15 minutes of entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
Pure entertainment.
That's true.
Yeah, so, I honestly see Group B being, like, a lot of fun, whether it's Splice or like Clutch that makes it into this like group or whatever. I expect this to be like a fun group, right? If you're asking me for like predictions here, honestly, it's gonna be fun. Phoenix. This is probably the group Splice goes to, and probably Splice.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. Like this is my prediction for this is Fun Phoenix, and then whatever the wildcard team is that makes it in. Like. I like J-Team and I like Gigabyte Marines, but based on the play that we've seen from the third seeds that are in the play-ins, I just don't think they're going to be able to beat them out. Unless it's the LMS, then maybe. But it can't be, so...
Yeah, this for sure is the most wide open group. Fun Plus Gaming, or Fun Plus Phoenix, is for sure the favorite. Gonna throw them at the top, like, no matter what. I don't even think it matters what wildcard team or play-in team gets thrown in here. Fun Plus is by far my favorite to get out of the group. With the top seed. Out of these other two, like I don't know enough about them, but just with J-Team being the LMS representative, right?
Yep.
And with what we've said about the LMS so far, I guess I would put them below GAM Esports. If I had to rank the,
I'd probably still put GAM at like 4th, honestly, because like GAM is entertaining, but like when have they ever finished with like more than like 1 or 2 wins, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think the big thing about GAM is they're super entertaining and they're explosive, but they're a team that doesn't really know how to play like coordinated League of Legends. So finally, after like 15 to 20 minutes into the game, when people have items, that's when coordination is favored over like solo queue Fiesta, right? Because solo queue Fiesta really works when you don't have items, and GAM has always been really good at that, but they've never been good at finishing games. So I honestly would still put them at 4th, because it's going to get to that 15-20 minute mark, right? And then teams like Fun Phoenix or Splice or J-Team are going to be like, yo, we actually know how to play the game past 15 minutes, so we're going to win now. So not saying that, they don't know how to play the game. It's just GAM's very much we rely on our mechanics and aggression, and if we can't beat you with that, well.
Since I don't really know much, can either of you tell me how J-Team is at closing out a game?
So J-Team, like I said, this is in relation to LMS. So J-Team is actually one of the fastest teams in LMS right now.
Okay.
So,
but when they get a lead, they kind of look like they know what they're doing.
In other words, when they get a lead, they win the game because they straight up run over their competition.
If that's the case, then I'll actually reverse what I said, put J-Team ahead of GAM Esports, but I'm also going to go one further. Splice is going to have trouble if they're the team that gets put into this group, if J-Team is actually good at closing out fast games. Because what did we just get done saying about Splice and them matching up against teams that play quickly?
Yeah, that's a really decent point. Well.
So if J-Team, this is a big if because I don't know enough about the team to make this a definitive statement. But if J-Team is good at closing games quickly, and Splice is the 4th member of this group, then I actually would put my rankings as Fun plus Phoenix, J-Team, Splice, GAM Esports.
That's fair.
I can see that. I honestly think that's a fair assessment because Splice is a team that likes to play the long game. I honestly think it depends on which Splice shows up, right? Mm-hmm. Is it the Splice? Is it the Splice that wins laning phase? That shows up because the Splice that was the 3rd place Splice was the one that won laning phase, had a 5 to 10 minute lull, and then after that they took control again, right?
Right. Yeah, if they can win laning phase, then J-Team isn't quickly closing out the game.
So I think it really depends on if you're playing Splice, can you beat them in lane? I think is the big question.
Right. I think creative teams have a chance of doing that. And so it sounds like J-Team might be one of those, I guess, more creative teams and that's the reason why they're able to get early leads. Also, beyond that, they're a team that it sounds like likes to take chances on making plays early in a game, and that's something that Splice has proven to either be weak against or really good at absorbing. And so that's where your comment of which Splice team shows up really will matter to me.
Yeah. Okay. So Group C, I have my mind made up on this group. Maybe I'm underselling RNG here, but I honestly
all I think about is Uzi.
I think this group belongs to SKT and Fnatic, and the reason I say that is because SKT is SKT. They've returned to form. They, went into MSI with a mission to get to finals, right? And even when SKT met Double Lift, he said, "I'll meet you in the finals," right? Which is a big compliment for him to even say that, "Hey, you're gonna beat Invictus Gaming," which they did, ironically, right? But the big disappointment here is that they threw Game 4 against G2. Yes, they threw Game 4. They should have won that series 3-1. Let's be honest with ourselves. I love G2. I put them on a pedestal. They're my favorite to win worlds. I'm picking them as my world champion. I biasly put G2 on a perspective, I admit it. But they should have lost SKT 3-1 in that MSI semifinal. They should have. It should have been SKT versus Team Liquid, and SKT probably would have stomped Team Liquid as well. Didn't happen. They threw Game 4, and then G2 handily won Game 5, and then G2 went 3-0 against Team Liquid, and the rest is history as to why I love G2.
Well, I think you mean why everyone other than Fnatic fans love G2.
Yeah, pretty much, right? I think even as a Fnatic fan, you have to appreciate G2. But SKT is SKT, and they're coming back and they're saying, "Hey, we want to win Worlds this year. We weren't here last year.
Usually, it's not in Korea.
Yeah, boom, right? Faker's back. We have a banging roster this year. We're gonna take it back, right? They're just my pick to win this group. I think like the gap between SKT and other teams is like that. It's not like wide like it used to be, but like certainly that's my top team here. And honestly, if G2 weren't in EU, Fnatic would 100% be the best team in EU, right? They would 100% killing everyone.
For sure.
So, like, I think they'd be the best team in NA, too, honestly. That's nothing against, like, Team Liquid either. Like, I love Team Liquid, but I think Fnatic is better than Team Liquid as well, right? Like, if you were to place the top NA teams and the top EU teams, I'd have G2 first, Fnatic second, Team Liquid third, right? And, like...
I could see that.
And, like, this... Like, here's how I put it. G2, and then these two fingers here are Fnatic and Team Liquid. They're very close together, right? Like, and on any given day, they can beat each other. But, like, and that's not a slight against, like, Team Liquid or anything like that. Like, I love Team Liquid, and I think they're going to impress at Worlds this year. But I think Fnatic certainly, like, if you play it a best of 5, 10 times, I think 6 out of 10 times Fnatic wins that, and 4 out of 10, like, Team Liquid wins that. So that's, like, why I give them a slight edge. Like I said, that's still a lot of series for Team Liquid to win. It's just I give Fnatic 6 and Team Liquid 4. Mm-hmm. And then RNG here. So like I said, maybe I'm underselling RNG here. So you talked about Uzi, right? I will give that to you, Uzi. However, this isn't an 80 carry meta. Like looking at the patch notes that came out yesterday, I don't think this is an 80 carry meta. First of all, right? So. Bot difference may not be the thing this year. I honestly think this year a lot of it has to do, and it's been happening, like even with like the patch changes going up and whatnot. The difference has been mostly mid lane, I feel like, within the last month. The ability for mid lane to roam and the ability for mid lane to catch plays. I think that's why teams like Optic had a strong start because they played TF and they played that game, the roaming mid lane, right? TSM even tried their hand at it for a little bit. But, like, if you notice, like, whenever, like, Niski or Jensen has gone to other lanes and won the lanes for them because they were winning their lane, they were able to go to other lanes and help out. Like, or Caps doing the same thing for G2, or Nemesis doing the same thing for Fnatic. Like, there's a lot of themes here. Or Faker doing the same thing in the finals against Griffin, too. There's a theme of the mid laner is winning his lane, and he's helping other lanes win their lane, right? So... I look at RNG and I think to myself, is their strong suit their mid laner? Well, they have Xiaohu, right? And that's fine. But, like, Xiaohu has been okay from the games I've seen from RNG this split. To me, the big thing is Karsa and Uzi are doing really well for them. Which, by the way, Karsa, yes, he's still on RNG. And funnily enough, by the way, Stake is their head coach.
Oh, so, like, really?
2 LMS people are like on RNG. One is the head coach and the other's Karsa. Yeah, big haired Steak guy. Yeah, he's
there. Yeah, everybody loves Steak, man. He's great.
Yeah, everyone loves Steak. He was great name, great player, great hair. Gotta love it. Yeah, but
the thing is with the mid laner, I guess I don't know if you necessarily have to win your lane. You just have to be able to push your lane and roam. And think
about the mid laners you're playing against in this group, though.
I know, but with RNG, I don't necessarily think that they're going to that it would be out of the realm of possibilities for the mid laner to necessarily take a little bit of a loss in his lane to go help Uzi, because that's been the strategy of this team for.
But then they're playing against Teddy and Reckless. Like, it's not like
the thing is though that like
pushovers.
Uzi has proven like Doublelift to be one of, like, we think of Doublelift as one of, he's definitely the best in our region. Uzi has proven to be one of the best on the world stage and has proven that if you play around him, he will win games for you. And even though this isn't an 80 carry meta, we also have seen that you can play around an 80 carry if you are able to get them ahead. And if they're good enough at positioning and not getting caught, then they can still carry you to victory. I know this isn't a great example, but Cody's son has been doing it for Clutch through
but their mid laner roams and does this stuff for them.
Right. DeMonte is a definition in our region of a good mid laner, so like that's why I said it's not a great comparison, but in the very final game that they played against TSM in the Gauntlet, I believe Cody Sun played Kog'Maw.
Cody Sun was a huge part, yeah.
And that is the definition of a protect the 80 carry comp when you're playing Kog'Maw. And I believe he started the game 3-0 and dominated it from there forward. So
if you start the game 3-0 with Kog'Maw, you better fucking dominate that
I think that Uzi can be the Uzi of old and can carry this team, which is why I guess I do think that this group is the group of death thus far over Group A. SKT, as you mentioned, looks like at the very least the SKT of old, but probably with some new tricks. Fnatic is pretty close to G2 level, and we have been praising G2 for an entire split now. And then RNG, I think, just on the Uzi factor alone, that's excuse me, that's enough to put them, like, I guess at least on the Cloud9 or Griffin level, like from Cloud A or from Group A. So yeah, I think that whoever gets drawn into this group is going to have a very bad time, and unfortunately, this is one of the two groups that Clutch can get drawn into, and I haven't looked, I guess, at like the other potential regions.
Here's how it works, right? If you have the top seed from every single one, so Splice, Clutch Gaming, HKA, and Damwon, which HKA, Splice, and Damwon. Sorry, Splice, Damwon, and
HKA.
Clutch. Are likely, right? HKA maybe doesn't make it. But if HKA makes it, like they should technically, HKA has to go to Group A. They have to go to Group A. They can't go to Group C, because if they go to Group C, that means Clutch would have to go to A, B, or D. They can't go to A or D, but that also means Splice has to go to B, and then there's no room for Clutch, right? So they have to go to A, right? HKA has to go to A no matter what. And if HKA
Damwon goes, wouldn't they have to go into B?
No, well, here's what I was going to get to. So HKA has to go to A, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because HKA has to go to A, that means
Damwon has to go to B.
Well, no, Damwon. There's already a Korean team here there, yeah, but there's also another European team there. So Splice has to go to Group B. Damwon will go to Group D, and that leaves Clutch Gaming at C. So as long as
I don't know if so HKA, we all agree.
No, because Damwon could go to B.
Damwon would have to go to B because of SKT. Oh, I guess they could go to D because Invictus is not Korean.
Yeah,
my bad.
HKA goes to B because AHQ is part of LMS as well.
Okay. Yeah. So ultimately, somebody's going to have to upset.
So HKA goes to A, right?
Mm-hmm.
Splice goes to B, and it forces Clutch at C. Right?
Right.
So with Clutch being forced into C, it's kind of doom and gloom for Clutch, but at the same time, there's some fun matchups here in the sense that you got Faker versus DeMonte, you got Nemesis versus DeMonte, Xiaohu versus DeMonte, Xiaohu versus Nemesis, Xiaohu versus Faker, Faker versus Nemesis, Cody Sun versus Reckless, Cody Sun versus Teddy. Like, there's a lot of fun matchups here. I think the only thing that I think will be severely overwhelmed here is you got Tarzan, the best jungler. Sorry, not Tarzan.
So Lyra is where you're going with this?
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with this. Who the fuck is SKT's jungler? I actually forget.
FYI, this would be like the nightmare group for Cody Sun.
Well, I was going to say, it would be interesting to see Cody Sun in this group because then you'd have like such a insane like quality to your AD carry matchups in every single match. Like you'd have Teddy, Reckless, Uzi, and Cody Sun all in the same group. That sounds
Clid. That's right. It's
insane.
Clid.
Like
the reason why I say that, Sanders, is because think about the last time that Cody Sun was on the world stage.
oh yeah, I mean Cody Sun will probably end up
it was
tilting
with
like
100
mad,
Thieves,
yeah.
and it was horrible. And he's still like that's kind of now what he gets to be known for, is especially the Tristana play.
I know he ulted it into his support. It was great.
And he gets to go back to Worlds and be in a group with the 380 carries on the other team of SKT, Fnatic, and RNG.
Reckless,
he pretty much gets the top 380 carries in the world.
That's the reason why this would be a nightmare group for him.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So insane. Like I still think like the matchups would be a lot of fun though.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I'd pick Clutch to go like 0-6 or 1-5, like honestly. But like, I still think the matches would be fun. Overall, like this group, I think if you're looking for like skill matchups, I think this one has the most fun across the board. I'm looking at junglers in Group A, so I'm biased. But like Group C, for overall skill position, like think about top lane as well, right? You got Blippo versus Khan. You have Khan versus Long. You would have Huni versus Khan, Huni versus Brox.
Huni versus former team and SKT.
And Fnatic.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, like, there's just a lot of...
We know where he's going next. He's playing for RNG.
There's just a lot of hype here. But, like, when I look at, like, junglers, Clid, Broxa, and Karsa outclass Lyra. So I think Lyra would be very sad.
Yeah. I would have to agree that, like... That alone would dig Clutch's grave, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I think rest in peace to Clutch, honestly. But like, hey, if some team like Unicorns of Love beats HKA, we could have splicing group. Sorry, we could have Clutch in Group B, and it'd be way better.
Let's hope.
So
I'm rooting for it, man. I'm
rooting
for it.
Cheer for whoever's against HKA. That's basically what you got to do. Cheer for whoever gets against HKA, and more than likely Clutch will be in Group B, and that would be amazing because then all three NA teams have some advantage. I mean, technically not Cloud9, but we're giving them the benefit of the doubt here. So yeah, most fun group for NA to look at if you're an NA fan, because god damn it, if you okay. So here's what I said in the chat. If you're an NA fan, or sorry, I said this on Twitter. If you're an NA fan, you should be super hyped by the group stage draw, right? We've looked at A through C. Group D is the biggest reason why you should get excited, because it's the easiest group for NA to win. Here's the problem.
The last time we said that about an NA group was when TSM didn't make it out with Doublelift on their roster.
We also said it with Team Liquid, and they went 2-4. They only beat J Team twice, and then they got stomped, right? So here's the thing. There's a lot of optimism for NA here. Yeah. Also,
I don't like it, Sanders. I don't like it at all.
It builds up from massive disappointment like every goddamn year. So, but the difference is like Team Liquid like made a finals this year, right? I mean, I guess CLG made a finals 3 years ago, and then they lost to the wild card team. I remember that. The year CLG went to finals, and then they got placed again. They got placed in the group with the best Korean team, and they lost to a wild card team to not make it to knockout. Anyway, let's hope that doesn't happen this year to Team Liquid. Team Liquid has AHQ and Invictus Gaming. We already know Team Liquid can take out Invictus Gaming. In fact, Invictus Gaming has actually looked pretty weak over the summer. So there's that, A. B, it's AHQ. Like, HQ is kind of a wild card, but, like, I expect Team Liquid to beat AHQ, right? Like, I expect Team Liquid to go 3-1 here, right? Now, you throw in a fourth team here. The fourth team could be Damwon, which would suck. That would suck, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
The other team that could get in here is Splice.
I think if it's Splice, it's pretty easy to say that it's TL and IG getting out of this group. But if it's Damwon, then I'm a little scared. I
don't know. I could see AHQ getting in over Invictus. And I could even see Splice getting in, actually. This group is so quote-unquote bad. I'm putting quotes around bad, because obviously these are really good teams. But this group is so bad that, like, and so, like, free, as Jensen said, that, like, if Team Liquid doesn't perform here, we should all like bang our head against the wall. Like seriously.
Oh, I will. Don't worry. I got plenty of them back here. I will.
So I mean, yeah. That's kind of like what you have to say about this group. There's not a lot. Like Team Liquid should make it past here. I think the second seed's up for grab between whoever the three teams are below them, honestly, whether it's Splice or Damwon. Probably Damwon. And by the way, if Damwon gets in, there's a chance that Damwon destroys this group and Team Liquid gets in second. But like either way, Team Liquid gets in, right?
They get out of groups, which has been the Achilles heel
of God, I hope that happens.
Goddamn goal.
But yeah, no, I agree 100%. This group don't have much to say. Team Liquid, it looks very favorable for them to be able to get out. I just hope that the disappointment of past Worlds with the number 1 seed from NA does not rear its ugly head again, because I can't. I don't think that I can handle it, guys. Like, if we don't get out of groups, I'm calling you on Discord or something, and I'm just gonna cry. Okay?
Yeah,
we're gonna have a cry session.
so here's the thing that's actually beneficial for Cloud9 compared to Team Liquid here, right? So if Cloud9 makes it out of their group, right, for knockout stage, they could play someone like J-Team or AHQ or Invictus or Gigabyte or Splice or someone like that, or HKA. No, I'm not talking about Group C. Fuck Group C. I'm talking about like from Group B and Group D. Like Fnatic is more likely to draw someone from. They're more likely to draw someone from Group B and D than C. But like my case stands. Like right, they're more likely to draw a number 2 seed from Group B and D than C. But they could draw the number 2 seed. They could draw Fnatic, right? But they're more likely to draw someone like AHQ, J-Team, or Invictus Gaming, which is totally bodes well for Cloud9. Team Liquid, on the other hand, they'd have to draw like. Probably. Wait, hold on. If Cloud9 got in, they'd be number 2 seed, right? Oh no, so they'd probably draw. Oh shit. So if this went the way I thought it would.
FunPlus or SKT.
Actually, they could draw Team Liquid as well, which
can
would
you?
totally. Yeah, they can.
Okay.
You can draw your own region once you get to quarterfinals because you draw a number 1 seed of someone else. That would be so sad for NA to be like, yes, both our teams are made.
Yeah.
And then they gotta play each other. That would be horrible.
Anyway,
no, they have to play. Okay, so they'd have to play Fun Phoenix or SKT. Fuck. I mean, I still think it's advantages for Cloud9 in the sense that like Cloud9 like has proved that like they can stand up like those kind of teams. I think I'd rather see them play Fun Phoenix or anything else over SKT. But Team Liquid on the other hand, they'd be the number 1 seed, right? But then they'd have to sit there and they have to face Fnatic. Or even someone as like random as like J-Team, which I know I like downtrodden J-Team, but J-Team gets off to really fast starts, and like frankly, if you get off to a fast start against Team Liquid, we've seen that's like how you want to beat them. Cloud9 has shown that to us. If you want to beat Team Liquid, get off to a fast start and close the game before Team Liquid can do anything about it. So it's weird how like in the group stage, Cloud9 is like less favored, and Team Liquid is less favored. But like once you get out of the group stage, go to knockout stage, actually more beneficial to Cloud9 than Team Liquid. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm super excited for Worlds. None of this is gonna happen for another month. Fuck.
Yeah, that's the killer. I mean, October 2nd is when play-in starts. That's
next week. So.
But like I'm talking about the fun stuff, like knockout.
Well, we talked about play-ins is fun stuff.
I mean, it's like. I feel like it's
just
like,
not stuff.
The stakes aren't as high, I guess.
I feel like play-ins are the popcorn you eat before the movie starts. Like it's fun. It's fun while it lasts, but once you're done with the popcorn, because we all know we finished popcorn before the movie starts, you're sitting there for the last 2 previews, being like, all right, when does the movie start? Let's go.
You and I do not enjoy movies the same way.
What, you're telling me you don't eat all your popcorn before the movie?
I don't.
Well, fuck no, I don't.
You tell me you don't get in your seat.
Most of the time, that's because I'm not at the theater like a half hour before the movie starts.
Well,
that's a good point.
I always get there like 20 minutes before the movie starts. So by the time the movie actually starts, I'm like, most of my popcorn is gone.
And then not only that, you said two more like trailers, and you're like, when's the movie gonna start? I love watching the trailers.
So do I, but okay, so like if you go to like Harkins, which you don't know what Harkins is because it's only a West Coast company.
Not at all.
It's only a West Coast company. It's only in 8 states of the United States. If you go to that movie company, they only show like 4 trailers, which is nice. If you go to like AMC, they show like 10, and it kills me. I don't need 20 minutes trailers before a movie.
But you're gonna have them, and you're gonna like them.
Just show me your 10 minutes
Sanders,
trailers.
you're gonna like it. It's more opportunity to finish your popcorn.
Sit and enjoy the late stage capitalism, all right? Sit there and like it.
You know what? Fine. I'm going to tell you to sit through play-ins and like it. You're going to watch
I
them.
will.
I'm
I will like
planning on it. I'm probably not going to go back and watch many of the games, but if I ever can catch one when they're actually happening, which is, again, unlikely, then, I probably will enjoy a couple of them.
For you, actually, Celceus, because you're 2 hours ahead, right?
Of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to start at 6 a.m. and go till 11 a.m. for you. So you could definitely catch a couple games.
No.
He's like, no. You definitely could at work. I know you've watched at work.
No, I can't at work because I don't. I've told you this before. I would watch it on my phone, but we don't have unlimited data, so I don't. And then I can't watch it on my computer because they regulate the shit that you do on your computer at work. And they would have a problem with that.
I thought they used to do that. Anyways, so last comments on this. Jensen and not Jensen. I should say Jensen and Niski, actually. Jensen and Niski got buffed because Viger and Oriana got buffed. They got massive buffs, actually. Viger got a massive cooldown reduction on his stun, which is...
oh, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, it got reduced to 12 seconds maxed out, which means with full CDR, it's at like 7 or 6 seconds, which means you could do it like 2 times in a team fight.
Did they also increase mana? Because that they should have.
No, they just...
Well, then they fucked up.
So Viger got
It's not like Vigar's like, I mean, he might now, but I was going to say it's not like he's...
Vigar's been played in pro play across regions, like, sparingly. Like, stars kind of have to line up, but he's been picked, right? And Niski's not afraid to blind pick it. So Niski got buffed, right? And Niski also plays Oriana. But then Jensen, who really plays Oriana, right? She got a 60 damage buff at level 6 on her ultimate.
Jesus.
60! What?
That's it?
That's pretty huge.
You say that's it.
No, I said it just to get a reaction out of you, and the look on your face when I said it was exactly what I wanted, so thank you.
But when you think about, like, 60 health, right? Like, usually when you ult with Oriana and they leave with, like, 40 health. Well, they don't have that 40 health anymore because 60!
Because they added 60!
Yeah, so, Jensen and Niski got buffed. So I feel like Riot was like, we need NA to
make noise
well.
this year. Yeah.
So let's just buff the champ pools of some of these characters. Caitlyn got buffed, 2 double lift loves.
Sneaky's pretty good at Caitlyn as well.
Yeah. I was, like, looking at the patch buffs, and I was like, these, like, benefit all NA. Oh, and Aatrox, which is, like, SKT's favorite champion, got nerfed again.
Good. Did he get deleted? Was that his nerf?
You know what's funny? So LS, actually, I don't really like LS's comments a lot, but he thinks Aatrox is a bad champion. He thinks Aatrox has been a bad champion for the last month and a half, but, like, teams have been leaning on him as a crutch, right? And he brought up a good point that, like, when you watch an Aatrox game in the last, like, month, there's never a time where you watch that game and you were like, Aatrox won that game. There's never a time where you look at that game and you're like, Aatrox won that game. It was always something else.
I feel like that's wrong.
No, you think about what did Aatrox provide in that game. There's not.
I'm gonna think about it, and I'll put something in Discord, maybe.
There's not a lot that he actually provides. So all they did was his minion clear went from 60% to 40% damage. So he deals way less. So the whole point was to kill his wave clear. But, I mean, he also thinks, like I do, I think Tahm Kench is a bad champion. He thinks Tahm Kench is a bad champion, too. But people love it for the ability to swallow someone. So that one thing, like, makes him viable. What's also hilarious, too, is there's actually one small comment. When Rek'Sai was popular, he said Rek'Sai was terrible. And when he was the coach for BBQ Olives, they still picked Rek'Sai, even though he hated Rek'Sai and thought Rek'Sai was a bad pick. A month later, Rek'Sai was not in the meta whatsoever. Not because she got nerfed or anything, but because players actually realized, oh, wait, she's actually bad, right? So he might, like, he's always been a guy that, like, when he makes his statements are usually correct correct later down the road because people eventually get out of their stuck ways and they actually try new things and they realize, oh, this thing is shit. So, like, probably what will happen with Aatrox, I imagine, is teams are going to lean on it early on in the tournament. And then as the world's meta evolves, people are going to realize, oh, yeah, there's things that counter Aatrox. Or they're going to get bored with Aatrox and they're going to find things to counter him. And that's when they realize, oh, he's not as good as we thought. He's actually been dog shit for a while. So, same thing with Tom Kench. Tom Kench hasn't been played recently, if you notice. Finally. God damn it. So, oh, and he also got another nerf. Tom Kench got another.
Yeah, no, they just keep stacking it on him.
They nerfed support Tom Kench. It actually buffed jungle Tom Kench, but it nerfed support Tom Kench. So that's kind of interesting. They did it to where his gray healing...
More Thresh. That's all I'm hearing.
They did it to where his gray healing is only at 20% now. So if you see a Tom Kench, you can draft a really aggressive bot lane, and he won't heal back shit. So in other words, he's just a squishy piece of shit that can't do anything early.
When are they going to do that to Pyke?
Never! Pyke is awesome! Fuck you!
That fucking champion, you get him down, and then he goes invisible, and he heals back to full, and you're like, God damn it.
Hey, just because G2 is OP with it doesn't mean you need to nerf it. Just because one team decided it's the OP
Just saying, if you're going to do it to one champion, then do it to the other ones that share some similar abilities.
Fun fact, too, even though Hjarnen's not at Worlds, Heimerdinger got massive buffs as well. I really hope G2 pulls it out. I really hope G2 pulls it out.
Didn't Wonder play some Heimerdinger?
He did. You could play it top lane. You could play it mid lane.
Yeah, didn't they stick Wonder bot with Heimerdinger and just he had like a horrible time? Is what he said. He was like, he sounded like Double Lift on Sona for a bit. Like it was.
No, but like really though, you could place Heimerdinger top. He can go mid. He can go bot in 2 different roles. Bot. So honestly. He got massive buffs, and I really hope G2 like comes swinging out the gates versus like boom Heimerdinger. Also, Jensen plays Heimerdinger. He did it versus TSM in the spring finals. I want to see Team Liquid pull out Heimerdinger. I just want to see Heimerdinger. It's gotta happen. He got a massive buff.
I know that it's not till after Worlds, and I don't know if we're kind of done with the like. Esports talk, but along the lines of buffs, Garen is gonna get some changes. Being a Garen player, it might bring me back to playing because I've seen some of the guys that I watch stream play with the changes on the PBE, and it looks like they did some good things. I'm excited.
Good time.
Have you played as Garen at all with like a Yuumi or anything like that?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
I don't think I've played the game since Yumi's been in.
Because I was gonna say that sounded like something that would probably bring you back if you're a Garen player. But
by the way, one last thing.
I feel like you need to be like in a communications with the person that's playing you. So.
One last thing that happened that I think will be interesting for like the world's meta. 2 other things that happened. One's Twisted Fate, and one is Blitzcrank. The rest, I think, are pretty meaningless buffs. They're like buffs to champions that were already relevant, or nerfs that didn't really matter. Like, Mordekaiser kind of got a buff, but like, whatever, that didn't matter. Fiora got a buff, but like, Fiora's eh. Ashe got her slow, the auto attacks, went from 15 to 20% at level 1.
That's big.
That makes all-ins better. Yeah. That's why I was playing Ashe, actually, to see that. And it actually felt really good. I just walked up to the AD carry, attacked them, and they tried walking away. I'm like, poke, walk away. And then go back up, poke, walk away. And then the third time, you all in them and kill them. No, Blitzcrank. So they wanted to establish Blitzcrank as, like, the hook, right? Because he was, like, the original hookster. So they made his hook the longest hook in the game now. Its range went from 1,050 to 1,150.
Damn it, where is Afro?
Really? Jesus Christ.
They increased the range of his pull by 100.
I hate it when they do that.
So here's the thing with that, is you are so used to what Blitzcrank's hook is now, right? Someone's going to play it against you, and it's going to be
I absolutely despise when they change the range of something. Like, it doesn't have to be an ability or anything like that. It's just like, you change
Lucian from 575 to 525.
Like I can deal with something dealing a little bit less damage or some shit, but then like it just fucks up your flow, especially when you've been playing the game for fucking 8
10
years. Like
isn't it 10 years old now?
So
yeah, it's 10 years old at this point for
much
sure.
longer by 100. 100 doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is. That's like
Oh
two.
no, it sounds like a ton.
Yeah, no, it does.
So that part of the hook where like it looks like it hooked you, but it didn't, as you're walking away, that's got you now.
Yeah,
It's
that's
got
fair.
you.
Didn't they
You
also
better have flash up.
Didn't you also mention that they changed like something with his ultimate or something?
Well, destroy shields, right?
Oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah, his ultimate
Okay.
destroys shields.
But I thought that there was another thing that you had mentioned with this recent change. Does it not deal more damage or something?
Oh, so now instead of randomly dealing damage, your passive has marks on it that accumulate like every 15 seconds, and it will the electric passive, his electric passive will hit whoever you hit with an ability.
That's what it was, because like
way better.
People were like they thought that was so awesome that they finally took away that random RNG shit.
Well, yeah, because like it would hit minions and fuck up like the ability to stall or freeze.
CSing was like, well, not only that, but like it would steal CS from your lane.
It would steal CS like on small ones. So, yeah. The last change that I wanted to like make a point about was Twisted Fate. He actually got big buffs as well. So his I think this is relevant for Nemesis because he likes playing AD Twisted Fate. I also think it's relevant for Jensen, who does like to play AP Twisted Fate. It benefits both AP and AD. More so AD than AP, but like it benefits Twisted Fate in general. So either build you want to go. His attack speed on his E, the bonus attack speed that he gets, is being increased. It used to be 10 to 30%. It's now 20 to 40. So he's automatically got 10%. So he's automatically got 10% more attack speed already. He basically gets a dagger for free, is what they gave him. Right? That's pretty good. And the base damage, you know how like every 3 auto attacks, his auto attack deals bonus damage? That was increased by 10. So he now has more poke in lane as well.
Wow.
So Nemesis got a buff as well.
Cool.
Western buff.
Go West, go.
Yeah, go Western. So I know Faker was playing Twisted Fate as well, so like I wouldn't be surprised. So
Faker can play any champion, so
mid lane is definitely going to be changed, which I like. I hope to see more Viger and Orianna. I love those two champions. When I was like playing a lot of mid lane, I played a lot of Annie, I played a lot of Viger, which is what noobs play like me. And I played a lot of Orianna. That was like the only skill champion I played with Orianna, and I loved Orianna. I still do. I try to play her support sometimes, it never works. Try to make it a thing every once in a while. Never works, promise. But maybe one day I can make it work. I haven't figured out like what to do for her yet, but yeah. So I think that's it for Worlds. A little bit of the Worlds meta, what the group stage is going to happen. This is pretty much it.
Did you say at the beginning that you had one other piece that you wanted to?
Yeah, it's quite sad for me. I've been doing this for 4 years. Would be 5 coming in January. But it's just time. It's something I've been thinking about for the last 2 months. It makes me really sad to think about. It's not like I want to leave, but like everything comes to an end eventually. I remember like I did marching band for 7 years, and in my last 2 months, like I was ready to leave marching band. I was done with it. But in that last and final game that I had in the stands, and the final show that I played on the field and whatnot, and as I played my last notes of my last fight song, I was very sad because I knew it was the end and I was never going to do it again. Same thing here. Like, I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to be done. It's also really bittersweet and sad.
No, I know what you mean, man.
4 years. I've dedicated like weekends and weekends of effort into this. And I want to thank anyone and everyone who's either listening now. I'm going to thank you all in the Discord, even if you don't listen to it anymore, or if you just decided to come back for the last episode when we posted in the Discord. That's cool. I want to thank anyone who's ever supported us. Huge shout outs to Chillery. Always been a fun guy on here. Shout out to my uncle who started this thing 4 years ago when he and I first started it. And I want to thank Cole, if he sees this, for being one of our first co-hosts with Wayne. I want to thank Selceus for reaching out to us 2 years ago if we needed a co-host once Cole left. And I want to thank Tanner for joining us a year ago when we really needed someone as well. So it's been a huge pleasure with everyone I've ever done. I want to thank anyone who's ever messaged me about something that went wrong with the video, something that went wrong with sound, something because they couldn't download it on Spotify or whatever it may be. It just means you cared and you wanted to listen to the content. I want to thank, I think it was Octo. Octo sent me a picture one time of her. She was listening to an episode on her lunch break. She took a picture of her radio and her lunch and said, "This is what I do during lunch." And it makes me happy that people actually cared to message me. It makes me happy that people cared to actually say, "Hey, you know, the content you make wasn't just like going to waste. People actually listened to it." So yeah, it's not it's not an easy decision, but I want to thank everyone who's ever been involved. So yeah, it's been awesome. I've loved doing this, but it is time to move on, and I know that.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I've had a great time. Honestly, I mean, only been here a year, obviously, but this has been really great because looking into talking esports has just kind of been one of those side passions that I've always wanted to look at, and I think this was a great way to explore that, and with a couple of great guys who I enjoy talking to quite a bit, and will still enjoy talking to after this, of course. But you guys were great.
Shit talk football.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat you in that fantasy league matchup, bro.
You're probably going to, but my teams are shit for some reason. Anyway, though, I've really enjoyed this, and I want to thank you guys too, because it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of people around IRL that I get to talk esports with or video games with. It's not a passion, I guess, that I share with a lot of coworkers or friends really anymore. And so this has been a pleasure to be able to sit and talk every week with a couple of guys that I really enjoy discussing the topic with and have grown close to, and definitely will continue to, have the relationship even once this is all said and done. But I also want to thank everybody who has listened and participated on the Discord and had conversations with us on the Discord. I know that that's kind of like the best way to communicate with us, and I still think going forward that will be. We aren't getting rid of the Discord channel or anything like that, so feel free to pop in messages. As any of you know, there's lots of topics that are in there. Feel free to let us know if there's new topics that you want us to add. I know that Wayne has been using it for his music podcast,
which is solid, by the way.
Check it out.
So
yeah, but yeah, Sanders, thanks for allowing me to come on, and Tanner, it's been a pleasure as well to just get to know you over the last year and really enjoyed this. So it is bittersweet, but I think in the back of my head have this feeling that like someday in the future, we might dust off the mics and get back on and do it again. It's just right now, I think that with life for all three of us, it's just a good time to kind of take a break. And like, I think all of us will still continue to enjoy League of Legends.
Of course, I will.
Playing it, but I think we're definitely going to keep watching it, and it's cool to see that something like a video game can bring people together. I've never met either of you in real life, but through this experience, I definitely feel like I've gotten to know you just as if I had met you. So yeah, I think that's kind of a good place to end. But
yeah. Oh, and I will say the one thing I look forward to is not watching every fucking match every week.
That's fair.
God.
There were always some stinkers in there, for sure.
I think I look forward to that in January, where I could just go to like the weekend and be like, I'll watch that one match and I'm good.
Just watch the highlights, Sanders.
So, yeah. I think that's it from us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's a good place.
I'm gonna plug myself one more time. if you want to find me at JC Sanders TBS. I don't have any other projects I'm going for right now. I'll post them in Discord if I ever start them again. But for now, I got one less project because I just want one less project for now. I still have my sports blog, which I do, which is Sanders Sports Blog, by the way. It's a lot of cool football stuff. It's actually so weird at the beginning of every football season because there's a gap between spring and fall, or the beginning of the football year when I post, and people actually like text me and they're like, "Hey, are you doing that again this year? Like, are you gonna?" And I do it every year. So, but yeah, if you ever want to see like what I think of actual sports, not esports, you can check that out.
Traditional sports.
Yeah, or you can follow me at JC Sanders TBS because I post a lot of stupid shit on there. Tanner, I know you got something new going.
Yeah. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've got some other ideas that I want to try, for other shows. So, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all of them. Put /, put Blitzerama. You'll find me at that spot. And more news on whatever the fuck I figure out what I'm gonna do when I'm not, cascaded by work and shit like that. So. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, if you want to find me, /Blitzerama, those 3 websites. Pretty much it.
And hit me up on the Discord. That's what it's been. That's what it'll continue to be. I've got it on my phone too, so if you at me, I'll get the message, and that's for sure the best way.
Yeah, so for one last time, from Jamie Selceus Christensen and Tanner Blitzerama Brelje, I'm Jacob Sminted Sanders, and I will see you all on the Rift.